Okay, so one of the problems that I'm having is, of course, that our H1 heading right here, we can't see that. And I'm going to go ahead and make that pop a little bit. So the H1, we can actually just use, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and just use the H1 selector, okay? And it doesn't matter where I put it up here, but just to stay consistent with the kind of order of the way things are going, I'm going to put it up above the main content here. And nice and easily, just type in H1, and there we go, just like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add some styling to this thing. Okay, so color pound 333, and let's see, border bottom. Okay, I want a bottom just to give us a nice little horizontal line here, and I want that, whoops, to be a 1 pixel line, nice and thin. Okay, and what kind of a line? A solid line. And what color? I want it to be black. Okay. Now again, this I'm just using a keyword here. Okay, and you know, it could just as easily be red or whatever. But okay, so black, and save that. Okay, and now let's go ahead and see what else should we do to this thing. We're going to give this some padding. Okay, and that's just providing a little bit of space. And for now, we'll do 30 pixels. And if you're confused about this, I'll go ahead and change the values a few times and render it over and over again, and that's a really great way to learn. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a background color now, because we've just defined the color of the font, but I want to go ahead and add the color here, and we're going to make that white, which in this case is going to be FFF. Okay, and yes, I could just type white here or whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. Let's look at it in Firefox. Alright, so we're starting to get kind of web pagey here. This is still a mess right here. I don't like the way that looks. But I like how this is divided up right here. And anyway, let's go ahead and experiment with changing some of the values in our CSS. So I've... what do we have here? Border bottom 1 pixel. Let's just be obnoxious and make that 100 pixels. Save here. Come over here and save our document. Oh, and look at that. I've got a 100 pixel thick horizontal line, right? Okay, no need to have that. I think that I'm good. Maybe with 2 pixels. Let's try 2 pixels. Save, and then hit save. Okay, that works. Okay, and what else can we do here? Main content. Okay. Oh, see this margin right here? Let's go ahead and set that to be 10 instead, okay, instead of 50. Come over here and hit save. See how it brought that up? Okay, so that's a really good way to learn, is just keep messing with these values right here. Okay, let's go ahead and make that 110. And come over here and hit save. See that? Okay, nice big gap there, 110 pixel gap there. So I'm going to go ahead and set that back to 50 or 40, something like that. And need to come over here and hit save. There we go. Let's double check it again in Firefox. Okay, so the next problem that's kind of sticking out is this thing right here. Okay, and I want to go ahead and make this look more like a common navigation bar up on top that you're probably more used to with websites. All right, so coming back over to this, well, actually, let's stay on this side for a minute. You know how we identified right here as main content? Okay, we're going to do something similar right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to throw in another div. Okay, so I'm going to throw in a div here, and then down below here, I'm going to go ahead and close that div. Now, I want to add another ID to this div, and we're going to call this ID equals, header. Okay. And that's all we need to do. And then I want to take this header right here and come over here, and we'll put it, I guess, you know, it really should go right here if we want to stay organized and consistent. And we need to again add the pound, okay, and paste that header in, and then open and close curly braces. Now we can style this. Okay, so what should we do here? Let's go ahead and make the width 100%. Okay, that means it's going to be the full width of our document window, our browser window. Okay, and like so, and a semicolon. Okay, and you know, we'll set the height. See how we can, it finishes out the words for us. That's pretty nice. Okay, and we're going to set the height here to 100 pixels. Okay, like so, and semicolon. Okay, and we're going to set the background up Okay, and you can see I'm kind of being consistent with the colors that I'm using here. So 333, okay, semicolon, and again we'll do another border bottom. Okay, I'm liking the way that looks with the little line like that. And we'll go ahead and make this say 5 pixels, you know, something like that. What kind of solid? What color? Black, semicolon. Okay, and let's see, what else should we do? Line height, okay, and I'll change this value a few times for you so you can, you know, get an idea of what we're really doing with the line height, what's really targeting there. And it's a really good practice to keep checking. So let's go ahead and hit enter. And there we go. Okay. Of course, it's messed up the list items, but we have not actually targeted our list items yet. We targeted the div. Okay, does that make sense? Let's look here at what's going on. Okay. The div right here is our header, okay? The header is the block that all this stuff is you know, inside of, obviously, and we're not styling any of the stuff inside of it. We're styling that particular div, that particular block, and we're giving it, you know, this color background, you know, this size, a little border bottom, black line here that's 5 pixels, okay? But our list items here are still messed up, all right? And so that's the next thing that I want to do is target the list items within the div block, okay? Okay, so what I want to do then is, even though the div block, like I just said, is being targeted here, and that's what's giving us this background color here and this border, I want to now target the unordered list, okay? And this is actually our navigation. And so I'm going to go ahead and create another ID, and this ID we're going to call Navi for the navigation, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and save there. And now we can come over here and we can actually add, just like we did for the header with our ID, add Navi, okay, as an ID that we can style. Okay, so what are some of the problems that we see with this right away? One of them is that we have these bullet points still, and I don't want those bullet points on there. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and change the way this is. Now remember, this is a list, and that's why it's getting those bullet points here. And so I'm going to actually change the list style, okay, type, to whoops, sorry, okay, okay, list, wow, I'm spelling there all kinds of crazy there, aren't I? Okay, list style type to none. Okay, and let's go ahead and inspect that right now. So if I hit save, okay, keep an eye on this bullet point here when I hit save, okay? It's gone, okay? And that's all we needed to do right there. Now, of course, this is still not in the position that we wanted, but it got rid of the way that, because by default, you get bullet points in an unordered list. And so we're saying, you know, on this list style, remove that. If you're wondering how the heck I know to type this in, again, you need to just keep going to the references in the W3 schools and just keep Googling over and over. You can either do the search within W3 schools, or if you just Google, chances are it's going to take you, W3 schools will probably be at the top anyway. But just, you know, Google remove bullet points in list items HTML, okay, and it'll just pop up. You want to just get really used to, whenever you have a question in HTML, hitting Google up, hitting up the W3 schools or the countless other HTML references that are out there, and just seeing what's out there. Okay, there's the W3 schools is my favorite one, but there's a lot out there. Just keep Googling and finding these things out. Okay. And be aware that, you know, there's lots and lots of different ways to do the same thing. For example, like as we noticed, I always tend to write in the hex numbers here, but a lot of people prefer not to do that. A lot of people would much rather just type in, you know, keywords instead. Okay, and again, the list of colors is available at the W3 schools. Okay, so just keep going there over and over again. It's really, you have to just continually saturate yourself with this stuff. The nice thing is that the syntax is actually really easy, and it's really no big deal. All right, so a lot of it's just continually looking up what's possible and testing it out over and over again. Okay. All right, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to make this thing float left, okay? Now, you'd think that this would make this jump over the side, but it's actually just making sure that the navigation is floating over to the left, staying over to that left side, okay? And if I go over here and hit save, see, it barely moved at all, okay? Just kind of shifted into the official floated left position. Now, why are these still hanging down like that? Let's look at it big. in Firefox. Totally annoying, right? Okay, we want these to all be lined up over here. Okay, now let's look at why that did not work. Okay, we are styling we're targeting the this particular div, right, for the header, which is this block right here. And then inside of that, we just targeted what we call Navi, and that's the unordered list, which is this whole thing right here, okay? And so it's targeted that, and it's moved it over. But we've given no instructions for the individual list items to also float left, which was then bounce this one up to the left, and this one, this one, this one, and they'd be like snug right here, and that would look nice, okay? So we need to actually target that next. Okay, now you can actually just create another, okay, Navi, right? And then actually type in LI, okay? And we'll look at what that means right now. So here's the Navi, okay? And so we are saying that we are targeting this block. Within this block that we're targeting is our list items, okay? And so we're saying within the Navi, target this list item, okay? That's all that is. And what we're going to do now is add a little bit more styling. So I want to go ahead and set the margin, okay, the right margin, to be at 30 pixels. Now, go ahead and just keep trying, 300 pixels, 10 pixels, 1 pixel, whatever you want, 60 pixels. Just keep trying and rendering and trying and rendering and see what the changes are, okay? And I'm going to set this to float left. Once again with that float left. Let's go over here and save that. There we go. See that? Nice. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here. Alright, so that's actually the position I want. It's not the color I want, okay? List items. Anchors, sorry. Because these are links, linked items in HTML by default are given the color blue, and then once you've clicked on them once, then they have the color purple, and they have an underline, okay? And so I want to change that because I don't want that. I actually want these to be white, and I don't want that underline there. So we have to get more specific once again. So we have targeted the unordered list, right? And then we've targeted the list within it, okay? By giving the unordered list the ID of Navi, and then the Navi list item we have just styled, okay? Now we want to style the anchor because the anchor is making it a link, and the link has this default blue with the underline, and that's what we want to change next. Okay, so moving on down. Again, I could actually just cut and paste this part because I just need to use that again. Okay, Navi, the list item, but then also the A for the anchor. Okay, and now we're going to apply some styling to the anchor. Okay, and again, I said I wanted that to be white, and I can actually just type in FFF, or if I wanted to, I could just type in white, but like I said, I like to use the hex numbers. And remember, just go to the color list of colors in the W3 schools, and you'll be able to choose the keyword colors such as, white, or the hex decimal numbers, whatever you like, okay? I tend to work a lot in Photoshop and After Effects, and I just get used to using hexadecimal numbers. Okay, so what should we do next? Font weight. Let's go ahead and make all of these things bold, and we do that with font weight. Now, if you're wondering how the heck I know that, again, just Google, bolding and CSS, and it'll pop right up. Okay, so you're going to be doing a lot of Googling, as you can tell, or just do everything within the W3 schools. You won't go wrong with the W3 schools. So anyway, in fact, you're going to have the most up-to-date information about HTML there. I would really recommend getting to know that site very well. Okay, next, let's go ahead and set the text decoration. Okay, decoration. And we're going to set that to none. And what that's going to do is get rid of that underline, okay? And let's go ahead and save that. There we go. Look at that. Let's go ahead and view this in Firefox. There we go. And that's really about how I want this to look, okay? Okay. Except for what I want to do now is I want to demonstrate how to use classes.